G'day guys, and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to something I have been waiting for quite a long time. Obviously this channel revolved around Doctor Who reviews at the time of this show. Doctor Who released a not Christmas special but a New Year special. I really wish I could say Christmas special for 1 year. Revolution of the Daleks. In this video I'm going to be speaking about the episode, my thoughts, what I think happens next, if I'm happy, if there's a feeling of fulfillment, sadness, what's inside after feeling the episode, as well as giving you a bit of a recap. So if you haven't seen the episode, this video is going to contain spoilers. Let's get into Revolution of the Daleks.
Subscribe to Entertainer. Who's going to win the All-Stars tonight? I'm Entertainer.
So Revolution of the Daleks was a strange and I guess a little bit ambitious episode for me. I thought it was quite good, I'll be honest. I think that the storyline, and for the most part, I am quite pleased with this episode. There is a lot wrong with it though, which I'll get to. Now, the first thing is that the Stolen Earth and Journey's End just doesn't seem to exist. The fact that the Daleks attack the Earth, no one seemed to recognise them. I understand they're using them as security now. And we had a new Prime Minister as well, which was cool, who was obviously exterminated. But I didn't understand that aspect of it. Now, one thing I want to say that I did enjoy about the episode was that it was quite scary. It was really, really dark, and they made the Daleks feel scary. I was watching this with my little sister, and she was terrified. Not to mention that I was terrified at parts. I think that there was some weird things going on, especially when they were recovering that resolution Dalek in the back of the truck. And then there was that woman who ran a fast food shop. I guess she was working for Jack Robinson, but back in Doctor Who, I feel like that would have been explained back a few years ago. What Doctor Who is now is just messy. But anyway, I'm trying to move on and just enjoy it. So we see the Doctor in prison. We've been waiting a long time to see the build-up. Now, the prison scenes for mine were too short. They were good, though. What we did see, her naming monsters, we saw a Sycorax, we saw the Pating, we saw an Ood, which I didn't expect. We saw the Weeping Angel. Now, we've seen that the Weeping Angel, spoiler alert, are going to be back in Series 13. A lot of people predicting, including myself, that the end of this episode would actually be involving those monsters getting out somehow, but that wasn't the case. As for Jack, I think he was written really well. I think that he was done really well. That little device that he had that helped the Doctor escape was pretty cool. The prison scenes themselves were beautiful. They didn't explain where or what, like it didn't get a name. Even if there was a name on the screen would have been cool. I know it wasn't Sharda or things like that, but I just think that it would have been pretty cool to have had that prison have a name, because I feel like we may be seeing it again, whether it be in flashbacks. I feel like in season 13, maybe we might get some kind of traumatic stress disorder from the Doctor and these flashbacks. As for Jodie's Doctor herself, I thought she was really good in this episode. I think that Series 12 definitely built on her. There's still some silly references, which I've spoken about in reviews, some cringy dialogue. It's always going to be there. But as for the Doctor, felt like a true Doctor, especially the encounter with the Daleks. I quite enjoyed that. Speaking of the Daleks, as I said, they were scary. They were menacing. There was lots and lots of Daleks in this episode. We got these kind of Victory of the Dalek looking black ones, which were the security drone. I actually didn't expect to see one of the insides of a Dalek for this episode for some reason, but I was thrown off guard when I did see that he was growing one. I forget his name, the character who went to Japan. The episode itself felt predictable at some extent, but there was also some surprises waiting in store. So it was good to have Jack. It was good to have the Daleks back. As for Yaz, I thought her dialogue was terrible in this episode. I thought she was just annoying. I haven't minded Yaz throughout the whole of Doctor Who, but I wanted her to leave this episode, and obviously she's staying. But Calling Jack insecure just felt insulting. What I want to say about Jack, which I think might be an unpopular opinion, is that it was amazing to have Jack back. It was a long time coming, but what for? There was nothing that was out of the ordinary build up here besides just Daleks showing up that Jack needed to be there. Maybe if this was a two-parter, which the first part involved around the prison and then you see them start to escape or something like that, I feel like this could have been an end of time kind of thing where it was a two-part special. There was a lot going on. Some of the scenes were too short. The Doctor's companions were in it quite a little bit. Jack Robinson was quite good. Chris North's character is quite menacing. He was a little bit predictable in regards to the betrayal kind of things. I never believed him for a second, but that's a fun aspect of Doctor Who. So yeah, I think that for the most part they did fairly well with the first half of the episode. We get into the second half of the episode where the Doctor obviously summons the SAS Daleks, they're called. Now, I was screaming. I loved seeing the proper bronze Daleks on the screen. I thought it was amazing. I thought it was awesome. I was waiting for them to come and exterminate. Now, what I want to say about that is them exterminating the black ones is that it felt too short. And them doing that made them even more menacing. The fact that they would destroy their own kind, even though they didn't have the inside, the blob inside of it. But I thought that it worked really well. This whole small civil war between Daleks, you could say. And I think that they did quite well. The scenery of these Daleks flying around the TARDIS was one of the best scenes in the episode, if not the best. I was really surprised that they flew inside the TARDIS, but obviously the reveal that this was a fake TARDIS, the one from Timeless Children, with the house setting. So no more house setting, which is a really nice setting in Doctor Who, but that's not going to be the case anymore. But they did a good job with the Daleks. I'm quite impressed with how, written by Chris Chibnall, the dialogue itself was bad, but he does know how to write villains. I really love Sacha Dhawan's Master. I really enjoyed, for the most part, Series 12, so I can't fault that. I can fault the shit out of Series 11, but I think that Series 12 was a step in the right direction. And this episode, although I'm trying to get over the dialogue and the script is terrible, and that scene where the Daleks are talking to each other, one another, it just went on and on. The way that they talked about purity and things, which I can understand the kind of side to it, it just seemed too, like, it dragged on a little bit too much. There needed to be more. But when they were actually out there killing humans and scary red eyes, loved it. I thought it was pure Doctor Who, and it was quite memorable in that circumstance. Now, towards the end of the episode, the Daleks are obviously put into a void in that fake TARDIS, which TARDISes can never go to a void, so that didn't make sense, as well as the fact that no one remembers the Daleks. There are a lot of things that, if you're a Doctor Who fan, it just doesn't make sense that Chris Chibnall knows how to write villains, I think, but he doesn't know how to continue on with the story. That's just my opinion, and I don't think that's going to change until he leaves. We get to the end of the episode where Ryan decides that he's actually going to leave the Doctor. Now, this is going to sound really strange, but I don't understand why Ryan wanted to stay on Earth when the whole of Season 12, besides, I think, Ascension of the Cyberman and Timeless Children, the whole season was set on Earth. I just don't understand why that was why he left. If there was another reason, wanted a job, I guess he said he wanted to be with his friends, which I can understand, but it just didn't make sense, that departure. I could see Graham biting at his nails. I knew he was going to leave. I was a little bit upset there. I think he's provided a lot of comedy to Doctor Who, so it's going to be interesting to see what they do with Yaz and the Doctor. I pray to God they don't put them in a relationship. It's just going to be too far, and you're going to see me go, bang, that's it, I'm done. I mean, I'm done if that happens. As you can see, it frustrates me what this show has become. But at the same time, I love talking about it. I smile at certain things because it still has that Doctor Who feeling about it. And I think this episode as I said, was actually a step in the right direction rather than the wrong direction. Captain Jack references kind of staying on Earth with a team, so that could be Torchwood, which is really exciting, hopefully. It would be interesting to see if either Graham or Ryan actually had a cameo in Torchwood. If they brought it back, that would be really cool. I personally think we might see Ryan and Graham back in Doctor Who in the next series before the Doctor regenerates, and I think it will be in person, kind of like the End of Time, rather than Amy and the 11th Doctor kind of being visualized. I think that they're the first companions of this Doctor, and that they have to be back somehow. And I think Tosin Cole and Bradley Walsh will definitely take up that role. We also got a reference, Say Hi to Gwen for me, which was pretty cool. We got references to Rose throughout the episode, which was pretty cool, from Jack mentioning Rose, Jack speaking about his immortality, sent some chills down my spine. I was thinking we could have gotten potentially a Face of Bo answer, but that wasn't the case. And the episode ends quite fittingly with Grace showing up as Ryan rides his bike, which comes kind of full circle from the start of Series 11, which I really thought was cool. I think it was a nice touch, and if they don't come back, I guess I'm quite happy with that touch. But I just think there's going to be one last adventure with the Doctor that they're going to come back for that will be big enough, maybe even involving themselves saving humanity for good. I don't know. What did you guys think of Revolution of the Daleks? Let's talk about the end of the episode. We got this little post-credit scene. I kind of want to break it down. I was going to get it set up on my computer here, but I don't have it with me. From memory, there's a man who's kind of loading things into his truck. Someone's reading him a horoscope. He says the colour blue will be important. The TARDIS, the letter D for Doctor, 13's your lucky number, and it's not the end of the world. Now that one, it's not the end. Remember, it's not the end of the world. Maybe there's going to be an event where he feels like nothing is... I don't know. But John Bishop will be joining Doctor Who as Dan. Now, if this is just a companion, this is a really strange build-up. If this is more than a companion, I'm not suggesting the Rani, the Master, maybe even just a companion from another planet, and we're getting a reveal that they're not human later in the series, that would be kind of cool. If it's just a human, okay. I like this. They did quite well, and I think it definitely teases the series as well as anticipating the viewer wanting more, which is what I wanted. This horoscope and hearing this, I don't think this is a Doctor. Yeah, this could be a Doctor, but 13, the lucky number, which is obviously an unlucky number, but anyway, being a companion of Jodie Whittaker and Yasmin Khan in Series 13. But as I said, I think this episode was a step in the right direction. I was happy for the most part. I think it was enjoyable. It was good to have Doctor Who back on the screens. We did say that Doctor Who will be back in 2021, so we'll be back later in the year for more reviews. Maybe I'll do a theories video as well. As I mentioned, I think we will get to see more of the prison throughout the series. Spoiler alert, we're going to be seeing the Weeping Angels, and I believe we're seeing the Sontarans. I think the Sontarans have been sighted on filming, which is really exciting. Looking forward to them. Be cool to see when this new companion joins, whether it be in the first episode straight up or whether it be later in the series and we got a little tease. Be cool to see a cliffhanger mid-series and get the second half of the series early next year. Just my opinion, but I guess it would be hard as well with the specials to tie into that. But what did you guys think of Revolution of the Daleks? I thought it was quite a promising episode. I thought that they handled the return of Captain Jack quite well. Did feel like fan service, as I said, but I think that for the most part I had a good time. I'm going to give Revolution of the Daleks a 7.5 out of 10. I think this definitely has its faults about the episode, but for the most part it's a really good time. It felt like proper Doctor Who for once for me, and I wish we could have seen more of these menacing Daleks, but it looks like we won't be seeing them. Be interesting. Let me know what you think is going to happen in Series 13. Obviously, the Master probably escaped with the Cyber Lords, I think they call them, which is really cool. Jack Robinson's obviously now running for president, so he could be a major part of the series now. He could be a reoccurring villain. It would be pretty cool to see Lenny Henry team up with him. We saw Lenny Henry get away in Skyfall, which was, you won't believe this, guys. It was a year ago, 2 days ago, a year ago. Skyfall, that's Bond. Awesome, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. And if you're watching for the Doctor Who content, I'll see you for Series 13.